what's going on, Jam fam? So, Brawl Talk just dropped. I already did my reaction video to it. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go check that out too. But today we're going to be doing my W's and L's. I rewatched Brawl Talk. I wrote down a bunch of notes. We're going to be talking about what I think the best and the worst things added in this update are going to be. Now, remember, this is just my opinion. You guys can let me know what your opinion about everything is down in the comments. But as we go through this video, I'm just going to be talking about what I like and dislike coming in this update. So, let's get into it.
I was wrong.
Alright guys, so we gotta kick this video off with an immediate correction on my part. Basically what happened was, I started working on this video immediately after the Brawl Talk reaction had dropped, but it turns out that I actually misread the graphic for the Brawl Pass changes. It was pointed out to me in a couple different comments, so I gotta sit here and eat crow about my reaction to the way the Brawl Pass is changing. Basically what happened was, I thought pay-to-play players were going to get massive busts. I thought that you were going to get 19,000 coins for buying the Brawl Pass Plus and 5,500 power points, if I remember correctly. Well, it turns out that when you buy the Brawl Pass Plus, you only get small buffs compared to the actual Brawl Pass. So while pay-to-play players are getting massive buffs from buying the Brawl Pass, they are not getting nearly as much as I thought they were going to, and I have to sit here and eat crow and say it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I still don't love the changes to the Brawl Pass. For example, they're changing the end of season rewards to all star drops, and they're adding way more star drops throughout the pass itself too. And I don't love that because I do think that that's technically like a nerf to progression if you get unlucky. So if you get all rares and you only get like credits or power points to drop, then you're not getting any coins if you might need them, and vice versa. You know, it's all RNG, so there's no guarantee you're gonna get what you want. Like, it makes me ask, what was the point of removing boxes if you're just gonna double down this hard at the end of the season? Because, like, we used to get big boxes at the end of season rewards, then we went to stagnant rewards, which was nice, and then they went right back to star drops, you know, 6 months later. So, what was the whole point of adding credits into the game if you're just gonna double down and just re-add boxes again? It's crazy. However, I can't sit here and say that it's a giant L like I initially thought I was gonna, because like the first draft of this video, I was kind of laying into the Brawl Pass, and it's not nearly as bad as I thought. Like I said, I thought that the Brawl Pass purchasers were gonna get like 1,000% buff to their progression, as opposed to free-to-play players only getting like 4 to 13% according to Kairos time, and it's not nearly that bad. So, I still technically want to give the Brawl Pass an L, but it's a small L. It's not like a giant L like I thought I was gonna. So, that's it. Brawl Pass, I still don't love it, but it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and I just want to sit here and say that it's not as bad as I initially thought it was. Okay, so let's move on to the W's now. Alright, so let's start the positive things off with a small W, and that's going to be the Toon skins. Now, this update is obviously adding a bunch of skins as they usually do, but I think specifically the Toon skins are far and away the best skins in this update. I think they're very stylized, they're super unique, and I love that they're being added to the game, and honestly, I hope they do more in the future. So if I really like these skins, and I think everything about them is great, then why is it only a small W and not a huge W? And that's going to be simply because they're kind of paywall. Of these three skins, Rico is going to be the only one that is easily accessible to free-to-play players. The Rico skin is going to be a Power League skin, so everybody can get it. All you got to do is grind out your Power League games, then spend the bling on it, and you got the skin. Easy, no problem. The Spike skin is going to be a legendary skin. You can buy that for 299 gems. Now, back in the day, obviously that would have been paywalled because, you know, you don't want to spend your gems on anything other than the Brawl Pass, but that's not an issue anymore. Now you can spend your gems on whatever you want, and while I would recommend probably using your gems on like a Hypercharge or maybe buying gold or something like that, you can, if you want, save up 299 gems and buy whatever legendary skin you want, this Spike skin included. So technically it is accessible to free-to-play players, but you will have to grind for it for a little bit. So there is that. And then there's the Colette skin. Now, the Colette skin is going to be the only one that is exclusively paywalled in this update. That skin is going to be a Brawl Pass skin, and you can only buy the Brawl Pass for cash now. So if you don't buy the Brawl Pass, you have no shot of getting the skin or any of its color variants. So there is that. That's very unfortunate. So like I said, technically 2 of these skins are accessible for free-to-play players, but only one of them is actually like truly viable to get as a free-to-play player. The other one is going to be like a crazy grind. And then the fact that they paywalled one of them behind the Brawl Pass after they removed accessibility of the Brawl Pass from free-to-play players does kind of suck in my opinion. So because I like these skins so much, but they are kind of like, you know, slightly paywalled, then I do have to give it a small W. They're great skins and I love them, and you can technically get 2 of them out of the 3, but if you want the Colette skin, you're out of luck, and you know, if you want the Spike skin, you're gonna have to grind for a while. So they're great skins. It's a W for me, but small W because it's not accessible as I would like them to be.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, next W, and that's going to be Hyperchargers. Now, while I'm not a fan of them still only adding another 6 Hyperchargers, it's going to be a bit of a less issue now that we're about 18 Hyperchargers in, so there's a lot more choice and variety, so I'm not going to complain about the fact that there's only 6 Hyperchargers in this update. On top of that, of the 6 Hyperchargers we're getting, they're all going to be on very popular brawlers, so a lot of people who main these brawlers are going to be getting their Hypercharges, so there's finally that. It's not like super unpopular brawlers like, say, like Rosa or like Lou. Now brawlers like Crow and Leon are getting Hypercharges, so that's really cool. So the 6 Hypercharges we're getting, Dynamite's gonna get one. His main bomb's gonna shoot off more little bombs. I think this Hypercharge is gonna be pretty bad, honestly. I think about something like a Squeak Super and how hard it can be to land the little bombs from Squeak Super, and it's gonna be very similar to Dynamite. Actually, it's going to be a little bit harder because now you have to land your main bomb, and then the smaller bombs you got to hope hit somebody too. So honestly, I think Dynamite's Hypercharge is going to be pretty bad, but he is getting one, so that's pretty cool. Next up is going to be Crow's. Now his knives are going to pierce people, and they're going to return to him, so it almost adds like a boomerang effect to him. Now, I'm not sure if this just applies to just his super, or if it applies to his main attack as well. I couldn't really tell from Brawl Talk, but honestly, I think this is going to be an okay change, but not like a major like game-changing change. If it adds it to his main attack, maybe it'll be like game-changing, but I think for the most part, it's just okay if it's just on his super. Miko's super is going to have a stun added to it when he's hypercharged. This is a decently length stun, and Miko's going to be very popular. I think people are going to be pretty happy with this hypercharge overall. Edgar's is honestly going to be nuts. He's going to get huge buffs across the board, and I think Edgar's going to be a bit of a problem for a lot of squishy brawlers, so I think Edgar mains are going to be very happy with this. I'm a big fan of Leon's. The fact that he's going to stay invisible even if he shoots is really cool. He's basically going to be like permanently invisible all the time, and you can, you know, possibly get extra kills because you get to stay invisible and get closer and move up the map more. I think overall Leon's is going to be very solid. And then Fangs, and I think Fangs is going to be totally broken. The fact that he can dive through walls and he leaves his little popcorn bombs behind him as he flies is going to be nuts. I think they added way too much for Fangs, and Fang was already strong, so when he gets his hypercharge, he's going to be even better. So yeah, these 6 brawlers are all super popular. I'm anticipating Miko's going to be pretty popular. I don't know how true that's going to be, but I think people are pretty hype about him. And then on top of that, all these hypercharges are pretty unique. They're not just super gets bigger, super gets stronger, super gets wider, that type of stuff. So the fact that they're unique and they're on popular brawlers makes me think this is a huge W, and I'm a big fan of it.
It's beautiful.
All right, so my first big W is going to be going to the 5v5 modes being added to the game. Now, I've been like very adamant for a long time they need to start doing something with gameplay to make the game more exciting and more engaging for veteran players and newer players alike. And honestly, I think 5v5 is going to shake things up huge. I think it's going to be a massive change to the game, and I'm super excited to get into these 5v5 modes. So of the 3 modes they picked, I will say that I think Brawl Ball lends itself the best to being a 5v5 mode. I just feel like that fits naturally into the course of gameplay for Brawl Ball, so I'm excited to play Brawl Ball specifically in 5v5. I do think Gem Grab will be okay in 5v5, but I don't think it's going to be like amazing like Brawl Ball will be. I do think that having 2 gem mines and 2 gem carriers per team is going to be a bit hectic, and honestly, I won't be shocked if people don't fall in love with Gem Grab. It's already a dislike mode to begin with, and then you add an extra gem mine and more players. I don't think it's gonna like save it or anything. So we'll see. It could be great, but we'll end up seeing what happens. And honestly, I think that Wipeout is going to be the worst of them. Not because Wipeout is a bad mode in itself. I actually really like Wipeout, but I think that having 5 players throwing themselves at each other nonstop is going to be very like quick. It's going to be annoying, and I think a lot of people are going to dislike it. So I won't be shocked if you play 5v5 with randoms and you just hate Wipeout entirely. So we'll see what happens with Wipeout, but I don't think it's going to be the best for 5v5. But like I said at the beginning of this segment, I do think 5v5 is a huge change for the game. I really hope that people like it and it works out, because honestly, I would love to see them do a lot more with 5v5. I would like to see some unique modes exclusive to 5v5, something like a tower siege or something like that would be amazing. And if they made it into like a club event where 5v5 was like club thing and like you played with your club mates, I think that would be amazing as well. I would love to see these types of changes being added because of 5v5, but we'll end up seeing what happens. I'm very hopeful for this, and I'm excited to try it out, so we'll see.
I see this as an absolute win.
And then my biggest W for this update is going to be the Brawlers. They announced 3 Brawlers that are coming over the next couple of months, and I'm excited for pretty much all of them. I think the most lackluster one is going to be Larry and Laurie. I couldn't even remember his name. I had to look at my notes. But The other two I'm super excited for. We already know about Miko. I've already made a whole video talking about Miko. If you want to go check that out, you can. But I think that Miko is going to be a lot of fun. I think him jumping all over the map and having a super that throws him in the air and then he comes down and slams on people. I think overall Miko's just mobility and his playstyle is going to be a lot of fun. And I think everyone's going to love Miko once they actually start playing him. And we get him for free. So even if you don't like him, it's not like you have to like invest your credits or whatever into him. You just get him. All you got to do is log in. Next up is going to be Kit. Kit is finally being added to the game. He leaked like a long time ago, at least the concept of a cat brawler named Kit leaked a long time ago, and I'm really excited. I like that he's a cartoon character. I think that's really cool. It's very different for Brawl Stars, but also it kind of fits. I like that he's kind of like a mix between like a support and assassin brawler, and the fact that his super can jump on people and you can't do anything about it until he gets off of you. I think that's really cool. I think Kit's gonna be a lot of fun to play in that regard, and the fact that he's a support is kind of crazy. Like, you jump onto your teammate's back, you heal them up, and you can still deal damage. It doesn't even like take you out of play or anything like that. I think that's great, and I'm a big fan of that overall play style. I think he's my #1 brawler in this update. I am excited for him. I think his playstyle is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to suit me pretty well, and I can't wait to get him. And then there's Larry and Lori. Now, this is the brawler that I think is going to be kind of mid, but I do think like pro players are going to take big advantages of him. I think that he's going to be a very good brawler, but I just don't think he's very exciting. Larry's the main brawler. He acts as a thrower, so you can hide behind walls and do a lot of damage, you know, thrower type stuff. But then when he gets a super, he's a spawner, and then he spawns his brother Lori, and Lori acts kind of like a Nita bot, but that has range, and he just kind of like pushes people back. I think he's gonna fit into that Nita role very well, where he acts like kind of like just like a control brawler, but he also has like way more range, and he's a thrower, so you don't have to be like up close and personal with people. And I think that having that extra body in modes for like Brawl Ball or like Heist or whatever, I think overall Lori's just gonna be like really great. I'm excited for all three of these brawlers. I think they're all pretty unique, and I think they're all gonna be very decent, and they're all gonna have their niches. So I can't wait to get all three of them and try them out. We'll find out what happens with them in the next few days when they do the sneak peeks and all that stuff. But right now, I'm just like enamored by these brawlers, and I'm excited to get them. So let me know what you think about them down in the comments. So there you have it. There's my W's and L's for this update. Like I said, only one big L in this update, and that's going to be the Brawl Pass changes. Now, I'm already getting a bunch of comments on my Brawl Talk reaction that the Brawl Pass changes aren't that big a deal, and I'm overreacting, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I just worry about how the pay-to-win gap is going to be for free-to-play players, because if the gap is too big between pay-to-win and free-to-play players, then it just leads to a frustrating experience and causing people to leave the game and quit. And I don't want to see that happen in this game, because it's been going for so good for so long, and I just want to see people keep playing this game and enjoying it. But other than that, this is an amazing update. We're getting 5v5. Like I said, I think that's going to be amazing. I think people are really going to enjoy that. And I want to see unique things come from 5v5 for like Club League and like just unique game modes and stuff. So I think that would be amazing. We're getting a bunch of good Hyperchargers for a lot of popular brawlers. I think that's exciting, because this is the first batch of Hyperchargers that we can look at and be like, wow, all these brawlers get played quite a bit. They're very common brawlers. Where, you know, we were getting brawlers like Rosa, Lou, Colette, not quite bad brawlers, but not popular by any means. So the fact that all these popular brawlers are getting very unique Hyperchargers is exciting. And now that like the Hypercharge roster is building out a little bit, I can stop complaining about only 6 per update. So there's that. I think the toon skins are great. I would love to see them be a little more accessible for free-to-play players, but as of right now, I think they're solid, and I would like to see more of them being added to the game. And then all 3 brawlers look great. I cannot wait to get all 3 of them, try them out, and see how much I actually like them when they're actually in-game, but as of right now, I'm excited for them. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know what you think about this update down in the comments. Let me know if you like it. Let me know what you dislike about it. Let me know if I change your mind on any of this type of stuff. Remember, if you like my rambling, make sure you leave a like on the video, and if you're new, consider dropping a sub as well. But that's gonna do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.